So from an implementation standpoint, obviously it's not negotiations and then it's done. You have to work with something. How does that impact the implementation and just, you know, where we are today?
One of the challenges that we had, as I said, was this transition from bilateral to multilateral forms of discussion. And towards the end of the Reston time, Bob Moorhead, the program manager, said to me, okay, you're the ops guy. You need to start this multilateral thing, whatever it's going to be. You need to start this. So we started a first multilateral integration forum amongst the partners and got a little bit of a head start on those processes, and then they rolled into the ISS as the ISS was forming up. So when I was in the space station job with Lynn's help, and I think it was Angela Diaz at the time, we actually started to hold the multilateral coordination board that was called out in the MOUs as that's going to be the multilateral forum for all of these discussions, and we actually started to hold those on a regular basis. We moved them around all the partner sites so that everybody was represented and started to deal with the issues that we saw coming. Now, there were some things that kind of changed because the Russian involvement was very different. You know, we were going to be using the Soyuz. We were going to have a lot of Russian crews, so we had to kind of spin out some other discussion bodies as part of that. Working with the Russians was kind of structured in a somewhat different way, like Lynn said, so we had to do stuff with Russians and then kind of reflect that back to the rest of the partnership. But most of it was just getting started. You know, the big step is getting started, and then eventually flowing that down to that all the activities at the program level were taking place, you know, in that multilateral mode, you know, where we do mission planning, increment planning, crew training and planning, all over time have gone that path, that they're multilateral activities now.
Yeah, and if you look back at the structure of the agreements, the way they're set up is that a partner's ability to have crew on board and to do their utilization begins when their element is delivered. And so these things got sequenced over time. So in the early stages, it was primarily US and Russia because we had the first elements launched. Then you added the robotic system for Canada, and ultimately you had the European and Japanese labs. So it got implemented over time. The other thing is, we had in the original agreements this sort of bright line between, okay, here's development and assembly, where you're in this bilateral relationship, and then you flip a switch, and now we're in this ops and utilization mode. And that all got blended over time as assembly got stretched out, and we started utilization as soon as we could. And so I think we've been operating more multilaterally a lot longer than the agreements really foresaw.
Well, we spent a lot longer in assembly.
That's right.
Yeah.